Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Master Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How is everybody doing today? Nice to see all your smiley faces. We welcome you to our entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we're always bringing back that lost art of conversation. And it wasn't I that came up with that. It was several of our guests that said, you know what you're doing here on this series, Jim? You are literally bringing back the lost art of conversation in the warm way that we do it, with lots of fun, poignant moments, poignant conversations, deep dives, lots of surprises, levity, and lots of entertainment as well. Speaking of deep dives, we're going to do that right now on this episode of the Jim Master Show Live. We have a very special guest who's returning to the Jim Master Show Live. Yes, Sterling Mire is here, live and direct from Beverly Hills, California, which is her home base. Now, she is several incredible things. You're really going to have a good time with us on this episode. If you're watching live, we welcome you. If you're watching this later in the archives and the replay, we welcome you as well. She's a manifestation expert, a specialist, life coach, also psychic and intuitive as well. And she's the creator of the AOM System. If you're looking for ways to manifest your heart's desires, your dreams, and to find a way to do it in 30 days, she's the expert. Extraordinary conversation. This is her second visit to the Jim Master Show Live. You guys wanted her back. I wanted her back. She and I were chatting recently, and we said, hey, would you like to pop back on the Jim Master Show Live? And within seconds, because she's also a fan of our show, as much as she is a valued guest, she's also a fan of what we're doing here, the vibe, the positive energy, all the cool entertainment, the guests that come in from all over the country and all over the world, the country being the United States, which is where this show comes from, the greater New York area between New York and Boston along the southern New England coast. And I tell you, it's been absolutely amazing. She has been featured in major magazines like OK Magazine, Body and Soul. Yeah, I love that shot too. Positive energy up with positive energy. Yeah, she's been featured in all the major magazines. She's really very, very popular. She loves life. And if you're having a bad day, gang, stick with us. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to have a fantastic time with us. And you can ask questions because we're live. Matter of fact, if you would like to comment during the show while it's live, hey, you can do that right now. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is the channel that presents all of these episodes, over 600 episodes so far of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Subscribe to Jim Masters TV. That's the name of the YouTube channel. The show is the Jim Masters Show. The channel that it's on is Jim Masters TV. And it's very easy to do that. There's no cost to do that at all when you subscribe. You just click the red button you see there on the YouTube channel, and you will be part of the JMS Loverty family. No cost. And don't forget, make sure you click that notification bell. We say it all the time, but sometimes people forget to do that. And then they're not getting the alerts that keep them abreast of all the episodes we do. Special presentations, celebrity friends that stop by, great music, and lots of great conversations. So do that. And of course, give this episode a thumbs up and a like on our YouTube channel. All the episodes you like, as a matter of fact. If you love what we're doing here on JMS Live, the Jim Master Show Live, make sure you certainly do that. But again, we are so excited. Again, if you do want to comment, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that is exclusive to our subscribers of Jim Masters TV and the Jim Masters Show Live. So we're so excited. Very, very busy day today. I had 3 radio shows to host. Tomorrow morning, for us here watching live, it is Saturday morning, and I'm working Saturday too. We've got a guest that flew in from across the country for a television news shoot with the TV News Magazine show and daily radio shows that I host out of New York. And then we are going to enjoy, the day. It's going to be nice. It's supposed to be beautiful. But I can't believe, like 75 degrees here in mid-March when we're doing this episode. That is nice for the Northeastern United States. Hope it's beautiful wherever you are. We have an international audience of Loveties. They call themselves the Lovety Squad. They watch all the time. Keep those comments coming. I see a lot of comments already built up. We'll take a look at those. If you have questions, if you just want to say hi, let us know where you're watching from. And if you miss an opportunity to do it live, Make sure you leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. As I mentioned, live and direct from Beverly Hills, California, Sterling is returning, and she really is a sterling person. She's extraordinary. It's very exciting to have her back here on the show. Will you please put your hands together, gang, and join me in welcoming Sterling Mire back to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. She's all decked out in a really nice color. There she is. Looks like $1,000,000 as always. Welcome, Sterling. Welcome back to the Jim Masters Show. How are you, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, Jim. I am thrilled to be back. We had such a great time last time we did
Yes, we
this.
did. Oh, wasn't it incredible? People still talking about it. People saying, I want more, I want more. So we deliver.
Yay.
Tell us about your background a little bit for folks that are watching for the very first time. A manifestation expert, a specialist, as well as a renowned life coach, even with the intuitive abilities and so much more. How did you get started in all of this for people that are watching, learning about you for the first time? When did you realize you had not only these talents and this expertise, but these beautiful gifts, my friend?
Wow, that is a really good question. Because it really is. It's like, how do you find yourself as a manifestation coach? Well, how does that happen? How do you just, it's not in the curriculum at school, is it?
No. Right.
You know, I all my life I wanted to live an extraordinary life. I was excited about life as a child. I remember being about 4 and 5 and just being excited to discover this thing called the world and life. And when I became 13, my aunt gave me a book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what started it for me. When I read that book, because I knew there was a way to have an extraordinary life. I knew that there must be some kind of secret. And I really wanted to find out what that secret is. So it started with that book. I continued to read more and more books. But what I found was that there was a wealth of knowledge out there and a lot of great information. But me applying what I learned wasn't working.
Mm.
And I was frustrated. So what I did is I took the most important elements that I learned and I put it together and I thought, this is an absolute, this is an absolute. And I created what I call the AOM system, the art of manifestation. And through this system, which I, of course, studied and practiced and experimented with for about 5 years before I didn't even stop there because I got amazing results, but I couldn't believe it. This system was so airtight and so foolproof. I feel like I didn't even come up with it myself. I feel like it was like a gift from above or something because it's so amazing. But I didn't stop there because I'm what I call a healthy skeptic. So
Right.
I hired a blind test group of 15 people and had them apply it to their lives for 12 months to have that 12-month ideal life come into fruition. Simply applied this system and the results were phenomenal at the end of the 12 months. And they played big. They played big. They played like they had a genie in the bottle and they were making those wishes. And we had a 90, 95, 100% success rate with all the clients. Nothing below that. And I'm telling you, if you read these people's wishes, if you will, or these intentions for the next 12 months, you would have thought, oh, you need a whole lifetime to accomplish all of that. How are you going to do all that in 12 months? But, they did it. So I used this system to really achieve anything and everything that I ever wanted. Everything I ever wanted and I got in life, I used the system. Everything I didn't want, I did not use the system.
Well, what was your life like prior to the system? What were some of the things you were going through and perhaps experiencing? And when did you realize that maybe you weren't getting fulfilled or going to the levels that you felt you deserved and you desired and you wanted. Because, for the folks that are watching right now, they may be experiencing something similar, saying, life is good, but there's something missing. I'm just not plugged in to the world and or fully to myself. What was the scenario like for you? Because obviously you are intuitive to be able to even recognize it in yourself. And how did you take that first step to say, there's got to be more? There's got to be more to life and to, how I can find solace, contentment, happiness, pleasure, and being joyful.
How did I find that? Well, I know what propelled me to create this system, and that was being sorely disappointed in life.
Yeah.
I remember specifically sitting down and going, all I really have to show for so far in my life is like frustration and disappointment. And that's it. I really didn't feel, I just felt so boxed in. I
Yeah.
felt disappointed that the books that I had read and self-help books were not really delivering for me. I was threw my hands up in the air and I was like, what is it going to take? And this is what propelled me to find or create that system, the AOM system. This is what caused it, because I'm like, I know there's a way. So it started with this investigation and all this reading and then experimenting. And what I found is that the manifestation process is really quite simple. It's only 4 steps. So you have an idea. This is what I want. That's your idea, whatever that may be. A desire for something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an emotional reaction to that original thought that you want to bring into fruition. And then from that emotional reaction, there's an opening for taking certain action.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4th step is the materialization of the original thought on the physical plane. So it's really quite simple. But if it's so simple, why are we struggling with it in life? Why is it so hard to achieve or have the things that we want in life? Success,
Right.
happiness, we all want this. Because something goes wrong somewhere between the 2nd and the 3rd step. The second step being the emotional reaction. So whatever it is, I want to be this in the world. I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to eat healthier. I want to have more friends. I want to be this or that, whatever it is that you want, there it is, right? Shows up for you. But if that emotional reaction is not supporting your original idea, then it's going to go south and it's not going to materialize. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't know. I have doubt. Or, yeah, right. Who am I kidding? With my luck, it's not going to work out. That kind of emotional reaction. Then the manifestation is aborted. It doesn't come to fruition. It gets stopped and stalled, and it just doesn't happen. Or the 3rd step is where people go wrong, because that's where you want to take action. And you might think, I want to materialize the man or woman of my dreams or the perfect job or whatever it is. And you think, well, I don't know what action to take. How am I supposed to find this person I'm looking for, right? So you don't take any action and then you don't produce the result. So what I tell my clients is like, even if you don't know what action to take any action, any at all. It doesn't have to be the right action, because what you're doing is you're creating this energy, this movement. And where, perfect example, I'll explain what I'm saying, what I mean here. Have you ever been incredibly busy and maybe you're waiting for a phone call and you got super, super busy, or you're walking out of the grocery store and you're fumbling with your keys and you're trying to get in your car and you've got your bags and the phone call comes and you're like, why now? Why is it coming now?
Happens a lot when I'm in the shower.
Or you need like one of those rubberized phones. But But this is why, because when we are in action and we're moving, it draws the things in that we want, such as that, that phone call that we've been awaiting. So this is why taking any action is better than none. And there'll be new action to take, or one thing will lead to another. So that's why people fail at the manifestation process, because of those two places of desire, the second step,
Mm,
or the action, the third step. That's where things go wrong and people don't materialize what it is that they want.
yeah.
No, it really is quite simple. And one of the first things that I did, because I teach people to manifest anything, regardless of conceived limitations or constraints. So what I did is I needed, when I first started experimenting with the program, I really wanted to test it. And I knew that there was no such thing as a limitation,
Mm,
right?
hmm.
So I was like, okay, how can I test this and create without limiting myself? So I chose, because I needed a car, I chose to manifest a black BMW convertible for free. And I didn't stop there. I said, okay, so is it four-seaters? Yes. I want 4 seats. I want leather seats, but I don't want my seat to be leather. I
Hmm.
thought to myself, "Oh, okay, just go with it." Again, remember, you're testing the manifestation process. So
Yes.
because the logic was telling me there's no such thing. But I did it because this is an experiment, right? And the car arrived 2 weeks later. And guess what? My seat was not a leather seat. It had a seat cover over it, because the amazing owner who kept pristine shape of this car, garaged and everything, this thing was immaculate,
Yeah.
also did not like to sit on leather seats because it gets hot.
It gets hot, right?
So there it was. I couldn't believe it because I hadn't even thought about seat covers.
And look what happens. See?
Yeah.
Are
So,
you saying that prior to that you were flying by the seat of your pants?
um, yeah. I mean, at that moment, that I created that. Yeah, I mean, I had a car. I was just tired of it. I wanted
Yeah.
something different, and I
Something
thought,
different,
why not
something new.
manifest something? And I thought,
Yeah.
why don't I manifest what I've always wanted? A convertible. As a kid, I always wanted that. So this was just an opportunity
Yeah.
to experiment with the AOM system. It was awesome.
Now, some folks, many folks have heard of law of attraction, or you get what you ask for, or those types of things. Does any of that come into play? Are there any blending or similarity to that? Is manifesting similar to the law of attraction? How does that all work from your perspective, Sterling?
Yeah, law of attraction is part of it. A lot of the things that I studied about the law of attraction, it just left out a lot of unanswered information that was left out, a lot of unanswered questions. And I found that it was very broad and
Yeah.
there was a lot of truth to it. But what I had gleaned was that it was just great information, but there was no way to really apply it. They say law of attraction, for instance, your thoughts materialize things. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So watch your thoughts. You could be reading this law of attraction book and you go, oh yes, good point, I got it. But guess what they don't tell you? They don't tell you how to manage 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So
That's what that may come as a big surprise for some of our viewers who are not aware of that. We do have like 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And some of them can be repetitive, and some you need to clear out too, right? Negative thoughts.
yeah, so you don't materialize them. So you're
Right.
here, you're reading this book, and you right there, you want to stop because you're like, I can't manage 80,000 thoughts a day. I can't even manage 60,000, not even 20.
Right. Well,
You
the
know,
last one I just had. Yeah.
so now I'm already failed, right? I've already failed at this, right? But with the AOM system, I have built in how to manage those thoughts without making any kind of effort to manage them.
That's so cool, huh? Isn't that cool? So is it something when you wake up in the day, it's already switched on, it's part of who you are now, Sterling, on a 24/7 cycle?
For me,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, I have a applying the system takes about 15 minutes in the morning, and you spend about 15 minutes at night,
Mm.
right? So this is how I start my day,
Mhm.
is with the AOM system. And I love it. My clients will sometimes not create their day and they come back and they go, I'm not doing that again. Everything went crazy. I'm afraid not to use the AOM system. So I said, but it's a great experiment. I'd say to them, I said, don't reprimand yourself for falling down, but look at it as a great experiment because you got to see an A/B, the difference between doing it and not doing it. And now
Right.
you're more than ever committed to make sure that you always do it every morning. So one of the things that my clients love is that they write the perfect day out in the morning. They go, okay, here it is, March 18th, and what am I going to create today? It's almost like a reverse diary, because at the end of when you're writing it in a diary, you're recording what you did, how you experienced it, the play by play of your whole day. Only you're writing this from a place of creativity in the morning, and you just let that day unfold, and it does. And what's remarkable is even when my clients try this for the first time, they come back to me and they go, oh my gosh, 85, 90% happened exactly the way I wanted it to. Like, that's remarkable. And then pretty soon, of course, they've got 100% days. And when they reflect on it at the end of the day, this is where they get the mastery of manifesting, because they look to see why. They ask themselves, how did this materialize?
Right.
And I always say the clue is to look to see who you were being before that outcome. Who were you being? Were you being frustrated or were you being optimistic? Who are you being? Because who you're being is going to give way to what you're able to produce as far as your results go and your experience of it. So I like to say if you're being authentic, you're going to be able to tap into creating anything you want. If you're being
Absolutely.
inauthentic, you're going to be blocked.
And you sort of, I guess, develop a little bit of a radar too. Like I'm very good at, and I've actually been able to guide and help others. And again, I think because you and I are we're intuitive people, I can easily detect when somebody isn't the real deal, or when they're not being authentic, or when they're just maybe they're out to hurt somebody or take advantage or grab theirs and run. I just have a keen understanding of that. I always say, well, maybe it's because I'm from New York originally, and that's part of the part of it. But no, I think it's something beyond all of that. And you have that too. You can tell there's facial movements, eye movements, hand movements, looking down, a lot of different things that are giveaways as to when even the vocal tone to being not authentic. It's easy sometimes when you have the tools to spot it, right?
Oh, absolutely. We are all intuitive. We really are. How many times have you found yourself having a conversation with someone and they're saying one thing, but you're picking up on another? That's perception. That's being perceptive and intuitive. So we're always having this energy exchange going on. We are all energy. And there's always something unsaid that we pick up on when we're talking to someone and we're observing the way that they're moving. We observe their facial expressions and their eye contact. We notice if they're relaxed. We notice if they're, apprehensive, something like that. So I believe that we're all quite intuitive, more than we recognize or give ourselves credit for.
Yes, absolutely. Really, it's something that once you realize it, it can be really fascinating. What are some other uses? Like obviously, when we chatted, we were sort of in the beginning of the throes of this pandemic, and that has really taught us a lot. And there's been so many different variables and so many different scenarios that have happened during the pandemic. What are some things you learned? What are some things that are takeaways from you, teachable moments? And also, how did the AOM system work for you during this very crucial, unusual time of the pandemic?
Oh my goodness. You know what? In my experience, I did not feel like there was a pandemic or a crisis or anything like that. My clients didn't either. In other words, it was not an interruption. Did we turn a blind eye? No. Did we experience it? Yes, I did. I had COVID in July of 2020. It wasn't something that was being refused, but it wasn't something that was dictating or dominating our lives. And we were able to have incredible breakthroughs. I say we, like I said, my clients and I really felt like we were living in a whole different world than most people were living, because we were, again, not letting our circumstances dictate and tell us what we can and cannot do. And this
Right.
is very important. And same thing with health. If you go to the doctor and the doctor says X, Y, and Z about your health, you don't have to let that dictate to you. I incredibly, when I speak about health, I remember I had a dentist visit, and this dentist was telling me, "Oh, we need to pull out your teeth." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to pull out my teeth." And oh, yeah, we need to pull out your teeth and put an implant in. And why is that? Oh, because, you have a little bit of a pocket here and all that. And I thought, well, wait a minute. It's not broken. It's not loose. It's strong. I'm not going to do that. I went to 5 dentists and couldn't find anybody to agree with me, if you will. But I was manifesting that I was going to have 100% healthy gums and teeth and all of that. And you know what? It literally happened. I found the perfect dentist who worked with me and also agreed with me. And I also manifested or stumbled upon this amazing ingredient that actually healed my gums so that my teeth were no longer in danger. And then when we did the little pokey pokies, I was getting 2s and 3s. And you
Wow.
guys know what I'm talking about if you
Twos
know.
and threes. That's really good.
Yeah, right? And so that was a product of manifesting. But that's what I'm saying. We don't have to let our circumstances tell us what's
Right.
going on. We just create it, and it will and it does happen, and it does come together. And I'm fascinated, by that. I've had clients that have been told they had an incurable disease, and they used the AOM system, and the doctors were amazed. They were like, "This is incurable. How did you do this?"
Hmm.
I love it. There's no limit to the power that we possess within us. We can really create anything, absolutely anything. And it's a lot more easier and fun than you realize. Life is amazing.
You sound so joyful and so happy and so passionate. I mean, you were the last time a year ago when you were here, and I can't believe that year plus has already gone by, Sterling. It went by in a New York minute for sure. But um, the fact that you tap into this in such a fantastic way is so cool. So if somebody's like watching and they're saying, well, this all sounds great, but how, my life is so dark right now, so, discombobulated and stuck and frustrating. And there's no way, I don't even have energy. This can't work for me. It works for the others, but it can't work for me. What would you say to somebody watching live or watch this in the replay in the archives who's saying that very thing right now about themselves? Their self-limiting beliefs are taking over.
Yeah, well, one thing I'd say, I have had people say, well, this can't work for me. It's worked for your other clients and things like that. This is absolutely untrue. I've had 100% dramatic, life-changing results with all my clients. And as I always declare, in 30 days, your life will be unrecognizable in all areas of your life. I had a client recently had PTSD since he was 5. He'd been working with a therapist for 8 years, making some progress, but not too much. He worked with me, and in 1 month, all this anger and rage disappeared, and he was free from the PTSD. We made such progress. It was amazing to watch this guy change before my eyes. I mean, everything about him, the way he looked, the way he sounded, the way everything about him was extraordinary because he had overcome this, and his life opened up and people were gravitating to him. All these women were asking him questions and approaching him in the grocery store. Even men were like, hey, me and my friend over here, it's New Year's Eve, let's buy you some drinks and things like that. So it's amazing. It is amazing. So I know this can work for anybody and everybody. And for those of you that are like really tired and burned out, I get it. I get it. But you mustn't lose hope. And here's the thing, too. When we're really ready for positive change, we will have that. We have to be ready. Sometimes we really have to hit rock bottom and we have to suffer. And although that doesn't sound like a very nice gift or a place to be, it really is a gift, because at some point we might, oh, with enough suffering, we might go, you know what? I've had it.
Right,
Whatever
exactly.
it takes, I'll do it.
Right. Because sometimes, it takes that. It's through the suffering, it's through the failure, the disappointment that gives us that resilience, that strength. I mean, some of the most successful people on the planet have failed at things multiple times, and that gives them the strength, the fortitude, and the resilience to continue to forge ahead, right? And sometimes when things are just handed to us and come via easy street, we don't necessarily earn it, respect it, or appreciate it, and it goes away quickly. But when you've come from, a place of not everything was perfect, not every day was ideal, you sort of respect it, appreciate it, and do everything you can to maintain that and grow it going forward. Right, Sterling?
Oh, absolutely. And it always makes me think about the Colonel Sanders story.
Oh
You know
yeah,
Colonel Sanders, right? The story,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how much failure he had,
Yeah, tell our audience who's not familiar. Colonel Sanders, of course, Colonel Sanders created Kentucky Fried Chicken, national chain.
right? And he was a salesman, and everything he did, he failed at. He was so despondent. He was, at the end of his rope. And I believe he was even considering ending it, but
I know.
he persevered.
Yes.
He persevered and had success later in life at 65 years old. But he lived out the rest of his life, incredibly so. I mean, I think he lived for another 25 years or something,
He did. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And what a wonderful life. And yes, like you said, it didn't come easy. So he enjoyed it, and like you relished every minute, and that he really lived fully. And having the contrast of the two is actually so enriching to our lives.
Yeah. Yes. It really, really is. What are some other uses for the AOM system? And the fact that it's 30 days, I mean, does that mean it's really intense? Tell us about some of that.
Yeah. Well, I want to say what I do with my clients, and what they do with the book is they they first start with part one. And part one is all about removing the faulty beliefs, removing the blocks that are hindering you from having the happiness and the success that you truly deserve, that you were born to have in this life. That's part one. Then at that point, you're in the perfect place to create the ideal life without taking into considerations limitations or constraints. So now you're creating this perfect life for yourself. And then the third and fourth part is all about how to stay on track. And that involves creating the perfect day every day and having it come to fruition. So that's how the system is laid out. And I want to say too is that a lot of times people don't even know what manifesting is, but we're always creating slash manifesting our lives. We cannot opt out of it. This is
Mhm.
not a choice. We're doing
Right.
it on a moment to moment basis.
Exactly.
Right? So doesn't it
Yes.
behoove us to understand the process? It seems to me to be the most important thing you could ever learn,
Mhm.
right? Is how do you
Exactly.
create minute to minute success and happiness in your life? A lot of my clients say, God, it feels great. I finally have control over my life. Like, I really feel like I'm able to just do anything. I know exactly what to do. I've even lost the fear of death, they tell me,
That's
because
a big one. The losing the fear of death.
they're not coming from a place of fear. Fear is no longer driving their life.
Mhm.
And if challenges come up, no problem. I know exactly what to do. I know how to transform this. So there's no reason for fear because you have that confidence, because you have the tools and you know exactly what to do and you have the clarity, and it's real simple. So you can imagine how empowering life is when
Oh,
you're coming
yeah.
from that kind of place.
Absolutely.
When
Absolutely.
when you think about it, I want everybody to think about this for a second, including you, Jim. Think
Absolutely.
about this. All life is a series of creations and experiences.
That's
You're
right.
creating something, right? We're creating something right here. You're creating something when you make food. You're having an experience of it as well. You're constantly creating, even when you're meditating, even when you're laying on the beach and you're sleeping. You're always creating. Create experience, and that's all it is.
That's what it is. Absolutely. Gang, lovedies, if you have any questions for our very special guest, Sterling, feel free to pop them in the chat there while you have that exclusive opportunity. And Sterling is here to answer any questions. What are some of the common questions that you get from people who learn about this system for the very first time, Sterling?
Common questions I think are primarily them trying to understand that anything and everything is possible. I think that is something that they have questions about, and they wonder about, what can I not create? And really the conversation is, what can you not create? Is what can you not create? so so you can create anything that you truly want. And one of the things that people ask me about is, they go, well, what about a timeline? How about, can I create when something's going to happen? And I say yes to that. However, I also say, why not take that off your plate? You don't have to worry about it, because it's going to show up exactly at the perfect time. And you don't even have to worry about it. And you're going to, when it shows up and it gets manifested, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it couldn't have been more perfect. Wow, somebody really does like me up there. This is amazing. And so this is a common question about timelines. They also ask me, well, do I had a client just recently said, I was reading a book and it said, I'm supposed to be specific, but not too specific. What does that mean? That's a contradiction. I go, exactly. This is the problem with the material and information out there, is we have these kinds of issues with that information. I can see anybody throwing their hands up and giving up, because it's like, well, I'm supposed to be specific and not specific. Like, what?
Right. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I answered the question. I also answer that question in my book because it's common.
Yeah.
And it's a very legitimate question. So for instance, I'll give you the example of the BMW that I manifested. Okay. I was specific about certain things. I was specific about the stereo because I love music. I come from music. I was specific about that. I was specific about the seats, how many, the leather. I was specific about the condition. I was specific about the convertible. But I did not care about the color or the make or model or anything like that. I was open to that. So that's a perfect example of being specific and non-specific. If you're okay with, you're open to any color, then leave it off. You
Right.
know, you just make it easier
Hmm.
for yourself. So you just do it that way. Approach it with like, what is it that's really important to me? And I'll leave the rest open to chance. So that's what I would say to that. I have a great share about when I was in a car accident, and it wasn't a big one or anything, it was just a fender bender. Long story short, I was rear-ended, and it wasn't my fault. The driver rear-ended me. The insurance company got involved, of course, and I had to go and get some soft tissue work done. My back was all seized up and everything. So I was getting adjustments and massage to correct it. But the insurance company did not want to pay the bill. So we went to court, and this judge was something else because he was saying, "Oh yeah," he was very cynical. "Oh yeah, how'd you like Club Med?" That kind of thing. I'm like, "Club Med? This was like no fun going to get this therapy." And so he awarded me 500 of the 1,500 of the bills, and now I'm stuck with like $1,000 out of my pocket for something that wasn't my fault, right? And he did this probably because then I couldn't appeal because I won the case. But I wasn't really satisfied with this verdict. And I decided that I'm going to go and I'm going to appeal. Right. So I go to
Yeah.
the clerk, and the clerk is telling me, "You can't appeal, you won." And I did not resist her because what you resist persists.
Yes.
Accepted.
That's very true.
I accepted what she had to say. I let it, I just was being with it. Okay. Accepted it. Not agreement, acceptance. And I kept saying I'd like to file an appeal. She's pulling down all these books off the shelves and things like that. And like I'm telling you, you can't appeal. But then all of a sudden, she turns and she goes, "Okay, I'm going to file this appeal under such and such." Just like that. She said, "But I think you're wasting your time and money." And I said, "Thank you." And she filed it. Now, here's what's even more interesting is that I get a letter in the mail saying I've been granted a court date. And so I call up the insurance company and I said, "Looks like we're going back to court." And the adjuster said, "How much do you want?"
Mm.
And I said, "Well, now that you asked, 2,000."
Yeah. Right.
They said, "Checks in the mail." So even the law is movable. There is nothing that can't be created. There's no such thing as concrete. Everything is malleable and creatable. And we often think of like the law is not
Like
to be
stone.
to be
Right.
challenged. It's just you're not
Right.
going to win, right? But this is the truth. And think about this. Whoever had it wasn't just the lady who filed it, right? That got into alignment with my intention, but it was also the person that had to approve the court date. Energy, it's energy. So it's really remarkable when you have these kind of breakthrough experiences. You're never the same again because you can never then convince yourself that something isn't possible when you know it is.
That's incredible. It really, really is. I mean, to have so many times people, they shoot themselves out of the game before, they get a chance to throw the first pitch. And their self-limiting beliefs can really do harm. They could be detrimental, and they could be self-created or the world around that person, uh, family, friends, colleagues, whoever, just constantly loaded them up with negative commentary, negative thoughts. You'll never be able to do it. That's not you. You can't do it. Don't even try. And then that person goes through a good deal of their life saying, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that. I can't do, no way am I going to do that. And that builds up over time, those self-limiting beliefs, negative thoughts that are either, again, created by ourselves, or it's a combination of the world and the exposure to the world sort of fostering and fermenting that a little, huh?
Yeah, right. And it need not be. It need not be. We are all programmed in a faulty kind of way. That's not even the problem. That's not the issue. Because it doesn't matter what environment you grew up with or who you grew up with. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got challenges. Absolutely. But the difference is are you going to be stopped? Are you going to find a way? Are you going to find a solution? You know, I talk about Nelson Mandela in my book. It's extraordinary how he in prison was working on freeing his people in there. He did not let those circumstances hold him back after he
Mm-mm.
went to prison, even though the guard told him, this is where you're going to die. Thanks for offering, but nope, sorry, not buying it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So these faulty belief systems get in the way all the time when people try to inform us all the time. But it really is a lot more easier to overcome than you can imagine. Because that's what I do in part one with my clients. In the very first session, they're free of those faulty beliefs. And they feel liberated and they feel excited and they feel light.
Yeah.
All that baggage is gone. And all those untruths are no longer playing a part in driving that person's life.
Right.
That
Exactly.
alone is worth everything, right?
A lot of aha, a lot of wow moments for sure coming through. What is an initial session like for the very first time with you, Sterling? And I imagine, with everything that's gone on with the pandemic and everything, there's probably been a lot of, over the internet type sessions as well.
Yeah, which is great. I have clients all over the world. I've got people in China, I've got Italy, the UK, Canada, and the list goes on, as well as people in Los Angeles. At the moment, they're got all over. I'm global. So working actually through a Zoom session is great because we can record the session, and people love to be able to play it and listen to it again, and maybe discover something that went over their head during the session. There's a lot of great information that we cover in that first session. And really, it's about how did we get here? How did we get here to this point in our lives? How did our lives become what they are? And our lives are as they are because between the ages of approximately 3 when we start to learn language and 17, we're actually creating our relationship to everything in the world, or relationship to our neighborhood, to our homes, to our friends, our family, to ourselves. We have a relationship to our bodies. We have a relationship to the car we drive. We have a relationship down to our shoes and our toothbrush. We have a relationship to everything. And if our relationships are disempowering, this takes away our own power. And this is actually coupled with our belief system as well. So if our relationship to ourselves is unhealthy, or a relationship to our body, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I'm too tall, or I'm too young, or I'm too old, or whatever it is. If this relationship
Hmm.
is disempowering, it's going to determine our experiences and outcomes in lives. So we get to really examine our relationships and transform them so that those relationships are not only healed, and that past is let go of, and that baggage is let go of, but we're actually staying in a place of truth, and truth really does set us free. And now we're relating to these things in an authentic, empowering way, and it serves us. So that's a big part of part one, and that's how we start to remove those blocks, is transforming those relationships from disempowering to empowering.
Hmm.
And now we can just do anything. We're the magician of our lives.
I like that. Yes, the CEO and captain of our lives, the magician. Um, so if Sterling, the expert's having a really rough day, the phone doesn't stop ringing, emails are coming in, people want everything now, and it's just a rough, rotten day from what most people would define it as. What are some of the things that you, as the expert, do to automatically put into action, calling upon the system to navigate through that rough day, that tough time that day just happens to be presenting? Because you hear it all the time. Oh, this was a rotten day. Oh, this day was awful. I could lose this day in a heartbeat. What do you do to try to turn that day around if you're able to?
Well, I have a few different tools, but and they apply depending on the severity of the
Yeah.
upset.
Hmm.
So, but it works like quickly. Boom, you're just off track, back on track. It's beautiful. So one of them, for example, would be like, say, for instance, you get a bill in the mail and you don't owe this money, or you thought it was settled, or whatever. Something comes in unexpectedly. You get a phone call. Something happens unexpectedly, and that's life. That
Right.
you might have that knee-jerk reaction of being irritated, annoyed, frustrated, upset, something. There's power in the distinction. First, you got to distinguish that you're being inauthentic. Inauthentic ways of being are fear-based.
Yes.
So you're creating out of fear, and that creates resistance, and what you resist persists, and that's what you're going to get. If you create out of fear, you're going to create things to fear. You're going to create things you don't want. So
Hmm.
there's power in the distinction of going, wow, I'm really annoyed by this. Okay, I'm being annoyed right now. So there's one thing that I like to do because I'm a visual person. Is just imagine on left hand side of your mental screen, so to speak, and you see yourself in there in this ball of frustration, right? And you just see yourself immersed in it. So, what I say is to walk out of it. Imagine yourself walking out of it to this clean, clear space on the other side that has a way of being that's empowering.
Hmm.
Maybe it's relaxed. Maybe it's non resistant. Maybe it's accepting. Maybe it's, I'm being, everything's okay. You
Right.
can be
It's
everything
all
is
okay.
okay.
That's all okay.
You can do that. So you really want to immerse yourself in what it feels like being peaceful or being yeah, like I said, at peace. Anything that you wish or you desire to be. Immerse yourself in it. What does it feel like to be really peaceful? What does it feel like to be really accepting? What does it feel like to be totally relaxed? We have
Mm,
vivid imaginations. We just haven't been using them to serve us. We've been using them
right.
to our detriment. And imagine that, submerge yourself in that way of being that's authentic. And what's interesting is that annoying thing will disappear on its
On
own.
its own. It'll make an about face and retreat. Do you do a lot of meditation? Do you do yoga? Do you do deep breathing techniques as well, Sterling?
I do meditation. I do a 30-minute meditation, usually between my day and my night. Is a way of like completing the day, regenerating, being here now, just letting
Right.
everything go. And so that it prepares me for the second part of my day, which is my evening. So I like to do that. It's wonderful. It's great. I love meditation. It's great. And also another thing that I do that I like to share with people because I think this is so important, but people don't realize not just how important it is, but how they don't really take the time to take care of themselves. Self-care and self-neglect. Self-neglect is rampant. Self-care is rare. But if you could take one day a week, it could be Sunday, one day a week, and just with no obligations, no plans, no alarms, no media, nothing to be dictating to you or informing you. And there's nothing that you're, like I said, have obligated to do. This is if you want to really get rejuvenated and you want to get in touch with your intuition and you want to feel absolutely balanced and at peace and wonderful and clear, this is a great thing to do. All you do that whole day is just answer to yourself, what is it that I want to do?
Mm,
What do I want to do? I
right.
feel like reading. Great, read a book. For how long? Who knows? Until something else shows up. You know what? I feel like I'm done with reading. What do I want to do now? I feel like taking a nap. Great, do that.
Do
I
it.
feel like I'm hungry. Answer to yourself. We're constantly being demanded upon in our days. We're always being asked for things. We're constantly putting energy out. We're constantly being distracted, that we've lost touch with ourselves. We don't even know what we need. And if you do this one day a week, it is life changing. When Larry Hagman, the actor from Dallas and I Dream of Jeannie, went in for an operation, he couldn't speak. So he was not talking. And it was such a life changing event for him to not talk that he made Sundays no talk days. Did you know that?
I actually didn't know that, but I have been trying that myself as a talker on the air just about 7 days a week in many different forms, wearing many different hats with many different shows, and then adding on this series that I do sometimes by the time that one day comes. And it's funny because some people who know me just from what I do in my career, communicating and chatting and all the rest, assume that I do it 24/7. Nothing could be further from the truth. I like a day where I'm not the one planning, I'm not the one doing, and I'm not the one talking. I'm sitting in the chair and I'm letting it all wash over me, or we're at the ocean. I'm very big. This is Zen Place. We're right here by the ocean, grew up near the ocean on the East Coast, and just letting the ocean take control, letting nature take control. And I am the guest. I'm not the host today. I'm the guest. I'm the participant and if I want to participate, I will. If I don't, there's nothing wrong. Everything is perfectly fine. I'm just now flipping the switch the other way, and I'm absorbing it all and enjoying it from the other side of the lens, so to speak. And I love that as much as I do, being in front of the camera or being in front of the microphone. I love those moments where everything is off and the phone isn't ringing, maybe the music's on, and we're just here, quiet. We're having a nice quiet day with everybody, and I'm not the one. Everybody else might be doing the talking, but I'm the observer. I mean, sometimes there have been people who've said, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Are you feeling well? Do you not like this? Oh, you don't agree, do you?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. It's none of those. I'm not sick. I'm not. I don't not agree. I have nothing to say. I'm just here relaxing, and I've done, 6 days, whatever, of 10 hours of raw talking. I'm good. I love what you're talking about. I enjoy what you're talking about. I'm kicking back and just relaxing. So I sort of get Larry. I understand that no talking Sunday sort of situation doesn't always work for me. I end up, being called upon often, but I try. I try my darndest. Kathleen in New York says she wishes she could have a no talk day. We do need a day to recharge, reboot, reconnect, and not necessarily talk, especially if we are thrust out there to talk, and connect and empathize and all the things that we do.
Yes, we're kinder to our cars and our our homes and our computers. We let them reboot. We let them rest.
Yes.
We take
And
care of them,
that's right.
maintain them. Where's our tune up, right?
Got to do it for yourself. Kathleen in New York City, I think she has a question. She said, and again, gang, you have an exclusive opportunity here. Post a question for our guest, Sterling Mire. What kind of meditation do you recommend for a beginner, someone who has never done it? She's watching in New York City.
Guided meditation. A guided meditation will help you to focus and will help guide you so you don't feel like you're lost in the process.
Right.
I know a lot of people get, when they're first starting out meditating, and if they just listen to music or a meditation CD or something, a lot of stuff on YouTube as well, but they get so entrenched with their thoughts, they start to kind of feel anxious because they don't know how to be the observer of their thoughts yet. Instead, they're just a reaction. They're just reactionary towards these thoughts. And then it starts to overwhelm them, make them kind of stressed and anxious, which is the opposite of what you want to be doing when you're meditating. So doesn't become such an issue when you are doing a guided meditation. And like I said, you can find a lot of them on YouTube, and CDs, that kind of thing. So there's tons out there. Just find something that you like, experiment with it. Unfortunately, sometimes YouTube has adverts, and unless you're a subscriber, I don't think you really want an advert in your meditation. So just kind of give you
Not the
a heads up.
meditation. Yeah.
But there's so much out there that you're not going to have a problem finding anything. And there's a book. It's almost out of print. I really, really love and recommend Steve Kravets, and it's called Complete Meditation. You can still find some copies. It's out of print, but you can find them online on Amazon. Great book for meditating. There's active meditation, there's passive, there's intuitive meditation. There's like a bunch of ones that you could play with, and they're fun. They're really fun to try out. There's even a dancing meditation. Try it out. That book is my favorite. I've had that book for, my goodness, over 20 years.
Mm, that
Yeah,
sounds fantastic. What
yeah.
are some other exciting things you have coming up, Sterling, as we're now entering for us here in North America? Spring is just a couple days away, and we had some temperatures today that were absolutely incredible here on the East Coast and the Northeast. 75 degrees, beautiful sun. You had mid 70s as well there in California, which is, I mean, that's perfect kind of weather, the mid 70s. And here comes spring. What are some of the cool things you have coming up? And also, are you somebody who, when the season, when there's a new season, the four seasons, those of us who get to experience the four seasons, with the four seasons, do you go through a shift? Do you go through a transformation? Are you looking forward with excitement to the next season for the sake of it being something fresh, something new, different ways of looking at things because it's a seasonal situation? Or do you just let it ride and, okay, it's just a calendar thing? What do you do with the change of season for you? How does that factor into anything you're doing? And what are some of the cool things you're working on that are coming up too?
Well, being in Beverly Hills, there's not a lot of seasons, but I do love the change. I embrace it. I embrace it with gratitude. Um, does it inform me in any kind of way? Not really. Um, I recognize that the 3 months is like a beginning, middle, and end. So I love the cycle. I notice the cycle and the way it interacts with nature. I love that. So I'm very, very aware of it. I like to tune into it. I like to witness it. I like to watch the buds come out on blooms and things like that. I like to watch the leaves fall and notice this cycle of life that's just beautiful. And it's no different from us humans. We are connected to nature. We are nature. Some of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm doing some events in Austin, Texas, creating a new branch out there as well, and training people to do coaching that I do. I'm doing some group things coming up as well. Group sessions. You can see that on my website, getyourlifenow.com. What else is going on? I'm going to be doing some presentations with this little guy here, the AOM System, Manifestation Mastery in 30 Days. So I'm going to be doing some events with this, some bookstores, and with some businesses as well that I'm working with, that I'm starting to work with in April. Some corporations, I've worked with lots of corporations like Google and
Yeah.
people, and
Lots of celebrities as well, well-known people that are household names on television, film, music, stage, and more, right?
yes, all kinds of people. And it's just awesome. I mean, this work is great. Oh my gosh, celebrate all the time. It's people just say, sometimes it's funny, people ask me, they go, "Oh, it must be hard doing what you're doing because people complaining about their lives." I said, "No, are you kidding?" I said, "There's
Right.
no complaining, it's all celebrating. People are getting results after the very first session. Their
Cool.
life is rapidly changed for the better." So I said, all we're really doing is celebrating.
Mm-hmm. Celebrate, because there's a lot of negative people out there, people who are critical, people who are always looking to tear other people down, people who are competitive and jealous, and it's all nonsense. Throw it out the window. Life is precious. Life is short. Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what fills your heart and your soul. Keep being positive. Keep bringing people together, because there will always be people who will criticize, who will tear you down, who will second guess, who will try to take you off the path that you're on. Uh, just say thank you, but no thank you, and start the car and accelerate. Hit that gas and keep going. Jane in Sweden says, what if somebody doesn't necessarily believe in it, or they're resistant to it? They don't, it's, it's probably just the lack of understanding of what it really is and the value of it. Somebody who says, well, I don't know if I believe in that. How do you handle that person?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think that some pointed questions are helpful for communicating with somebody who would be a naysayer, somebody who would be a non-believer. I'm saying there's nothing to believe in. I don't believe in anything, right? But what I do is I experiment and I get a result. And I always encourage my clients to approach this as an experiment, like a scientist would. Approach this as something is, I wonder what would happen if I do this. What result would I get? So you don't have to believe in anything to experiment something, to try something. So I think that's a big component, is allowing yourself to just conduct an experiment to see what would happen. There's nothing to believe in. I have clients that are all kinds of walks of religion, and they've got clients that are atheists. I have clients that are spiritual. None of that matters. None of it matters. The thing that matters is that they're willing to conduct this experiment. And when they do, they win big and they learn all the while. It's experiential learning. You can read the books all day long. It's not going to make a difference, because those are just concepts and they don't change your life.
Right.
If you never experienced love, but you read a book all about it, right? And you're reading this book and it's talking about love and it's describing it and all this stuff. That's great. But you will not be different and you will not be changed. You must experience something to actually understand it. and to know it and for it to exist for you.
Exactly right. Yes. Um, some great comments coming in. Christine in North Carolina says, I love, and she emphasizes love because that's a good deal of what this show and series is about with our lovities. I love this thinking, Jim and Sterling. Maureen says, life can get you down sometimes, but put on some music, clear your mind, and take some time to breathe. Things have a way of working out if you just let go and just let God. I mean, these things are really beautiful. Merlin says, I love the sun and being able to go outside and enjoy it changes my whole demeanor. That is important. Getting outside. I mean, for the last 2 years, many of us have been in our apartments, our condos, our houses, wherever, and not outside, not in the sun, not, working out of the house, just being in the house for protective reasons, whatever. But get outside, take that walk. One of the things that I kept saying during this situation of the pandemic and all is for everybody to sort of look to the constants in life. Surround yourself with nature, go to the ocean, go to the forest, get around animals, get around nature, plant a garden, whatever it is, take a walk in the park, throw the baseball around, whatever it takes, a frisbee. Get to those constants because none of those things knew anything about. They don't know anything about war. They don't know anything about pandemics. They don't know anything about any of that. But the tide still comes in and out. The sun rises and sets. The squirrels still, run around looking for their nuts, whatever it is. It's the constants in life. And when you can surround yourself with some of that, even if it is putting on some of your favorite music and sort of creating that environment for yourself, if you're not near any of those things I just mentioned, it's really important. You got to have that balance because with all the overload of material and information and negativity that comes our way now more than ever, because everything is a 24/7 world and environment, trying to keep up with everything. You got to have that balance, right? Balance is huge in all of this.
Yes, absolutely. Balance is key. It's always my mantra is balance for sure. It's interesting too because I know I'm kind of stepping away from what you're talking about, but I was thinking about one of the questions that you asked me about manifesting and how people maybe are confused by the process or they have questions and things like that. And I just thought of the importance of being and be do have because so many people think, oh my gosh, once I have enough money, once I have this person, once I have lost that weight, once I have felt better, once I have,
Mm-hmm.
I could finally do this and I could finally be this.
It's not what it is. It's not what it's
Yeah.
all about.
No, it's all about be, do, have.
Mm-hmm.
Be that which you are creating for yourself. Take the action that's in alignment and you will have the
Right.
manifestation of it. We've had everything is all this information that we've been given has been so faulty because it's been like backwards. It's
Yeah.
actually backwards. It's not even close to being
No.
accurate.
Right.
So be, do, have. Be, do, and you'll have.
BDH. Absolutely. What are some of the other things that give you great blessing and joy in your life, Sterling?
Oh my goodness, what things that the blessings. Every day is a blessing.
It is.
Every day is a blessing. Every interaction that I have with people are blessings. I am super grateful. And, I to the point to where gratitude, tears of gratitude every day emerge for me. And it starts when I start my day with the AOM system, like welling up with gratitude because I have so much gratitude coming forth from me. And I think that that's the blessing is the gratitude that I experience to be able to find the greatness in everybody and everything and connect to that. Because if you're connecting to someone's greatness, for instance, that's authentic. They are being authentic. You're being authentic. And anything that's inauthentic, it's like that darkness. The light will devour the darkness. So whatever is inauthentic is going to just disappear. They have to show up in this space because they they're called into it because it's truthful. It's truthful. Sometimes people can be very stubborn. That's okay. You keep relating to their greatness, and all of a sudden, in a nanosecond, everything changes. And they're no longer being defensive. They're no longer being jealous. They're no longer being whatever inauthentic way of being they are. Suddenly they become human, and suddenly they become connected to you, and they trust you, and they want to be around you because you just kept relating to their greatness. It's easy. Everybody's got some kind of greatness
Right.
within them. So identify one or two or three and just keep relating to them as that. When people are being grumpy or they're being inauthentic and all of that. I've done this so many times, and it still amazes me to watch transform
Yeah.
and change. And I'm like, who is this person? Wow.
Wow. That's the same person.
It's incredible.
These things are all invaluable too. And like you say, self-care is very important. There's a lot of people who are caretakers, but they don't care for themselves. And you really, really have to, right?
Yes. Yes. It's really true. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You
Yes.
must take care of yourself. And the self-neglect that I've witnessed in the world and clients and things, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you have to take care of yourself, because if you want to be giving and you want to make a difference and you want to be appreciated and acknowledged, you've got to first take care of yourself.
Yes.
First.
Right.
And then you're going to be worth everything to everybody. And it's a win-win situation. You're taken care of and they're taken care of. Otherwise, nobody's being taken care of.
Jen Barry in Pennsylvania says, do you do your manifesting on the different moon phases to add more energies? Tonight is full moon.
No, waning and waxing moons and things like that. I don't. No, because I don't allow something outside of myself. I don't acknowledge it as being more powerful than I am. I acknowledge that I'm the creator of my life and I take responsibility for it. So it doesn't matter whether the moon is in the position that it's in, or it's Mercury retrograde, or it's raining, or it's sunny. I just don't allow outside circumstances to dictate to me inside of what I'm creating.
Right.
And we don't have to do that. And I've found in my experiments that that's unnecessary. A lot of people give their power over to this Mercury retrograde. Oh, it's Mercury retrograde. Watch out, this and that. And I thought, you know how many Mercury retrogrades I lived through where I didn't notice anything was off and everything was smooth? Right?
It's not until we become sort of observant. It's almost like, I guess for some people, maybe, taking the real pill or taking the placebo. And the people that take the placebo seem to have, reactions and all kinds of things by having the placebo, thinking just because they got a thing handed to them that it is the real deal when it was a placebo. I find those experiments always interesting.
Yes, and back to the moon thing, I have a lot of friends who do take into consideration the moon, and they do certain rituals and things like that, and I wholeheartedly support them if it works for them, and they're happy doing that, and it makes something more empowering of an experience, or it makes somebody believe more, whatever. I'm all for it. Great. Whatever works. And if you want to give it that meaning, then it will be that for you.
Right. Exactly right. That's right. You're the one that is, like you said earlier, captaining the ship. You're the one that's conducting the train and keeping it on the track. Exactly. It's really beautifully said. The book, I tell you, and the whole program has been so well received by so many people, huh? Have you been just completely blown away by the response to it all, Sterling?
Oh, I have. Oh my goodness. The last recent story that I had this lady reach out, this lady reached out to me. It was amazing. She had a son who was constantly on death's door. And the doctors said they couldn't do anything for him. And he had all kinds of serious illnesses to contend with. And they weren't getting any help from the medical world. He was lifeless in his hospital bed, and things were looking so hopeless.
Mm.
She read this book, and she said it saved his life.
Mm.
It saved their lives. The whole family was affected by this. And she wrote this beautiful review on Amazon. You can't miss it. It's about 15 paragraphs. She had so much to share, and she did a great job talking about the whole situation and the trials and tribulations that they were going through. And it is amazing, and I love when I hear stories like that. We had a brief conversation. Even she really just wanted to thank me over the phone. We had like a little conversation. It was incredible. So I love receiving feedback from people who have read the book and utilized the tools in the book and telling me what they've gotten out of it. It's just remarkable. I love that. So yeah, no, I'm so pleased to be able to offer this to everyone. Just like read it, do it, and your life will be changed. Dee Wallace, isn't she one of your guests on here?
Dee Wallace, yes. Actress Dee Wallace, the legend, was a guest. Yes.
She wrote the
Wonderful person.
foreword to the book, and her quote is, "It starts working and delivers results as soon as you start working it." That's one of her quotes. So she loves it.
Mm,
It just works. It's a system that works, and
absolutely.
everybody deserves to have this information. We were put here on this planet to be creators. We are
Hmm.
creative beings. But what is the point if we don't understand how we're creating? What is the point if we don't? It's our number one purpose for being here is being a creator. So why would be it just it really really does baffle me, because I think, why would you not want to understand what it is to create, because that's your whole purpose and your
That's
whole life
right.
depends on it too.
That's right. Absolutely right. Carla, watching in Brazil, South America. What a lovely purple, good vibe on the background and on this conversation. Shout out Jim and gang. Grateful for this episode with Sterling. Thank you so much, Carla, who's watching in beautiful South America.
Thank you.
Jen Barry says everyone has their own way of good magic that works for them. Thank you, Jen. She had asked about the moon question. And I love that. That's really so. You're right. Everybody has their own way of good magic, Jen, in Pennsylvania. Kathleen Walker says, Sterling, I like how that light on your table changes colors. Pretty. It's very interesting. Sterling and I were talking a little bit about how we have that light up in the corner of our screen changing colors, which you guys love, and that she has that light there changing colors. It's sort of a kindred spirit thing, isn't it, my friend?
Yes.
That's the way life is. Enter and add color to your life and see all the different colors, especially if you're visual. It's really, really, a beautiful thing. Christine Clifton in North Carolina says, thanks so much for sharing the information and tips to help us all create better, positive, happier lives and experience. This was a fantastic show. I believe in this conversation. Thanks, Jim and Sterling. You're very welcome. And everybody who's been commenting with these glorious comments throughout the night. We love this. This is really terrific. This was really amazing, my friend. As always, here we are casually chatting, inspiring, empowering, and all the other things that we love to do, and connecting the energies East Coast to West, plugging in for almost an hour and a half. Could you imagine that?
Yay.
Doesn't feel like it, right? It never never
No.
does. So I say thank you, kind, generous, supportive you.
Yes, I love that mug.
Mm,
That's great. Was
that was
that
a
a
gift.
gift?
That was a gift from one of our viewers, one of our lovities. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Isn't
That's
that
great.
nice?
It is. It really is.
So
Wonderful.
you're doing well. Life is treating you well. You're happy. You're content. Things are going well. And it's so good to have an opportunity to connect with you again, put smiles on everybody's faces and, just shoot the breeze, but do it in a way that's warm and conversational and impart some wit and wisdom along the way, hopefully for our audience watching live and those who watch this later on. It's always cool. Mr. George Burns joining us too. He said you knocked it out of the park. He's
Yeah.
always here with his hanky and his chucks and his little cigar there. He loved it. He took a lot of notes. And remember, he lived to 100. So I guess he was doing something right. He must
I
have.
went to his 96th birthday party.
Now, you have to tell us
I
briefly
still
about
have the
that.
pom napkin. And happy birthday, George, 96 years old, written in silver. Oh, it was fun. I mean, Carol Channing was there, all the greats were there. It was fun. He cracked a lot of jokes. He's very spontaneous. He was
Yeah.
very quick-witted. Being 96 is incredible. But I mean, we've seen what people can do. Look at Betty White, who, lived
Yeah.
99. And George was 100, is that correct? Is
Yeah,
that
he made it to 100, and that's when that collectible doll that my aunt collected came out. 100. Isn't that
Isn't that
amazing?
amazing? Like, you don't ever have to quit. You don't have to stop. You're the boss of that. You're the boss, applesauce.
You're the boss,
You're the boss of
applesauce.
yourself.
That's right. You got it, my friend. Always cool connecting with you. And thanks for spending all this time with us once again, Sterling. Really love it. Really good, solid conversation and some good tips. It was just so nice catching up with you again, my friend. And
And if anybody wants to know, I do offer free consultations
oh,
to
cool.
see if this work is really a good fit or how this work could help you. So I do offer that on the
And they could go
website.
there, right? Get your
Yeah,
life now.
truelifenow.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, answer like a couple of questions. So we are well briefed before the consultation to make
Cool.
sure that it's really a good fit for you because people have questions and
Sure they do.
that's
Yeah.
totally understandable. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you so much
Abs.
for having me on
Oh, the
this.
pleasure, all mine. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, thank you for being here, Sterling. Great conversation. I second that in New York City. Smiles from Nikki. Lovities, she says as well. Merlin is now at peace in Ontario, Canada. Sterling and Jim and Lovities. Maureen in Arizona says, this conversation is just what I needed today. Thank you so much for being with us again, Sterling. I hope you come back again and again. I'm glad that you're happy, Maureen. We aim to please, and I was so glad that Sterling and I put this together. You're the best, my friend. Again, just keep doing what you're doing. You're so positive and impactful. There is that book again, the AOM System, Manifestation Mastery in 30 Days. Sterling Mire is our very special guest. There's a whole program to it as well, and she might be able to help. I send you nothing but continued blessings and joy there on the West Coast. And hopefully we'll be connecting real soon now that everybody's traveling again and things are opening up. And we'll keep the porch light on for you. And as I always say to everybody, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, my friend, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I definitely have with you, Sterling.
Thank you so much, Jim. It's been an honor and a privilege being on this show. I've had so much fun, as I always do. And just really, really thank you.
You are very welcome. Continue to spread the word about our series. I would love that. And we'll see you again soon. Have a spectacular weekend, my friend. Okay.
Yes, you too.
You manifest a glorious weekend and it will
Manifest
come.
responsibly.
That's right. You take care. Be well, Sterling.
Okay.
Bye-bye now. Sterling Mire live on the Jim Masters Show Live. Wasn't that a cool episode? Again, every episode of the Jim Masters Show Live is something unique, different, special. on our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. Manifestation specialist, expert, life coach, intuitive. The AOM system is extraordinary. And again, this is her second visit with us here on the Jim Masters Show live. And we really, really enjoyed the time. Hopefully you guys did as well. And if you'd like to see this again, guess what? You can. If, we went fast and you want to review it, guess what? You can do it again. How? Well, because all the episodes, over 600 of them, are available right here on our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. Binge away. You'll laugh. You'll be inspired. You'll be entertained. You'll think about life with all the different guests and all the different conversations. Last night was a hoot. Last night was our big JMS St. Patrick's Day Levity special. If you didn't see that, check it out. You'll be in a real good mood after that one. We had so much fun. We always have fun on our series. Thanks for all the great comments. Thanks for all of the interaction, everybody. Really, really love it when you guys are interactive. If you didn't get a chance to comment in chat, don't worry about it. You can also comment on the YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, we'd really love that because it does help blast these episodes out even further. So give this episode a like, a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. There's a little thumbs up icon there right under this episode and all the episodes. Please do that for us. We would love it. And leave a comment for us on the channel as well. That would be awesome. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, click that red button. There's no cost. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click the notification bell so you never miss anything. That is really important so you can keep abreast of all the cool things we are doing here at JMS Levity Hall. Hey, I want to let you know we've got some extraordinary guests that are coming up here. I'm very, very excited about it. Coming up on Sunday, our next show will be on Sunday. For those that are watching live, I have a television news shoot all day tomorrow, so I'm going to be wearing a different hat professionally. And then we have a family evening event on Saturday night with our family and friends. So we'll be back on Sunday for those watching live. Again, if you're not watching live, just stay right here on our YouTube channel and you can see the next episode coming up for you. Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter A.J. Mathur. He's an internationally renowned musician. He's got a new spectacular CD out. He's going to play live for us. He's going to be coming to us live from Switzerland. That's right, direct from Europe this Sunday. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. It'll be 7 p.m. for him in Switzerland. Again, he's an internationally renowned singer-songwriter, Grammy-nominated, and musician as well. And we're really, really looking forward to that. Hey, I also want to let you know we have some more amazing guests that are coming up. Left and right, the guests are coming up. We have playwright, actor, director, children's book author, and so much more, Jack G. Hyman. He created the one of the great PBS Kids PBS specials and PBS Kids series. We're going to tell you what that is. He's worked for ESPN. He's written all kinds of plays. He's a fantastic actor himself. He's here on Monday. Then on Tuesday, Sam Klosman is with us, veteran actor, comedian, dancer. That's right. He's worked with Lucille Ball. He's worked with some of the greats. Cartoon voiceover artist, too. Yes, doing Tweety. He's also been on Tom and Jerry. He also was an actor on the Bob Newhart Show and so much more. He's worked with Jerry Seinfeld. Extraordinary. We are so excited to have him live and direct from Hollywood, California on Tuesday. Really excited. And then look at Wednesday. Another incredible guest, world-renowned mentalist, author, and TV personality, the one and only, the amazing Kreskin is going to be with us live this coming Wednesday. This is going to be extraordinary. I met him in New York, and he's tremendous. He's been doing this for decades. He is one of the best. He is world-renowned, as I mentioned. He's a mentalist, author, television personality. The amazing Kreskin is joining us. This is very exciting. That's on Wednesday of next week. We're all excited about it. Cool stuff. So we've got the amazing Kreskin coming up. We've got Sam Klosman coming up, which is exciting. We've got A.J. Mathur coming up on Sunday. Jack G. Hyman, who's extraordinary. He's got some really cool things he's going to be telling us about on Monday. and so much more. It's been a really busy week. One more time, we thank Sterling Mire for joining us, and check out the book. GetYourLifeNow.com is her website. We thank her, our great friend of our show, and all of you. Kathleen, you take care, and Maureen as well, and Merlin, love it. Kathleen Walker says, thank you, Jim, for another great show. Love your new haircut. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we literally just came from the hair salon today, and she spent some time on it. 2 hours, I think. And we coiffed it a little bit, and it's a little shorter, and I love it. I think it's really cool. Been getting a lot of thumbs up from everybody in television, my colleagues, the people I work with professionally, family, friends, and you guys. Thanks. You know how to make a guy feel real good. Still long, but it's kind of styled in a different way. And yeah, I spent about 2 hours on it. Thanks for the comments, guys. You're the best. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Nikki, you as well, and everybody watching. And Maureen, good luck with your long day tomorrow. Enjoy the special time with your family. I sure will, Maureen. You guys enjoy your time as well. And if you don't want to talk tomorrow, you don't have to, right? Whenever you see this, you know we're always going to have a good time on the Jim Masters Show Live. Gang, thanks for joining us. You're the very best. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll see you on the next episode right here. Don't forget, you can binge watch over 600 episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for all the time, all the generosity, all the great comments, and we'll just keep going. I'm manifesting great episodes for all of you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We love you, and you, everybody watching around the world. Take care, and we'll see you again next time right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.